Hello, everyone, and welcome to Math 1316 for Summer 2 session, Trigonometry. My name's Terry Barnes, and I'll be helping you with this rather quick journey. So let's go over the um, way the course is set up, where everything is, and sort of what my expectations are for you during this course. So the way this is set up, there's three main parts to the front of the course, and over here, we have all the announcements, and there will be an announcement at least every week talking about the upcoming week, but there could be a random announcement about something else, so be sure you're checking those. This box has course content, and that I've put in most of the content that I think you need for the course. If you need anything else that I haven't put here, you can certainly click on this content box here. This widget has the Access Pearson, and this is where you're going to go for your homework and for your tests. So all of that will be there, and we'll explore that in a moment. Across the top, you also have assessments, which you can check your attendance and you can check your grades through Brightspace. But grades through the Pearson gradebook is really the most accurate. I do have them set to sync, but this is the one where I pull the grades from. So you can check it here, and certainly if there's a discrepancy, let me know. But we're here for most of that. Then you can also access the textbook here, and you can click on this. I'm hoping this works as well if you wanted to go here instead of clicking on the Pearson. That I sometimes this has a glitch, but this shouldn't have a glitch. All right, so let's start with the instructor plan and kind of go over that. All right, so here is our syllabus, and here is contact information. Here's my office phone, and I am not on campus during the summer, but if you call that number and leave a voicemail, it will send me an email, and I will be able to access that. So if you feel the need to do that, you can do that. You do not have to buy a textbook. It is included with electronic access as part of your tuition, so you don't have to buy a hard copy book. You do need a graphing calculator. I use the TI 83 or 84. I typically use this one, the 84 plus CE. If you have another graphing calculator that works for you, you may certainly use that, but I teach with this one, so anything where I show the calculator would be this one. We go down here, course attendance and participation. The college policy says that you should not miss more than 25% of a face-to-face class or 25% of the work on an online course. And you can be withdrawn if you go over that. So I have a policy in my online, and I check attendance on Sundays for the previous week. If you have worked on a homework, if you've worked on a test, if you've been in Pearson working, then you're counted present for that week. If you are not, if you have done nothing and not logged in, it will tell me that, and you will receive an absence for that week. You will receive an email, and I will adjust your attendance in Brightspace based on that. If you get two such weeks, you're at the limit. If you get a third one, you could be dropped. So it's really easy to stay off of that. Just work on something every week. We need to be doing that anyway if we want to finish the course successfully. So just keep that in mind. We're going to look at the calendar in another spot, but that's there. Let's look at grading. The my course is broken up into homework and tests and a final. So the homework, there's a homework for every section, and you can work on that as many times as you want. Every time you are working on a question, you have 3 tries at it before it will regenerate with different numbers. So you could keep doing that till you get 100 on every homework, which is what I hope you would do. So that counts 30% of your total average. On tests, there are 8 tests. I know that sounds like a lot, and it is a lot of tests, but they're over 4 sections each usually. Some of them are really quick. So just keep that in mind. They're not hard, long sections in those tests. But the tests count 50% of your final average. You can take every test twice, and the higher of the grade will figure in your average. So if you make a 65 on a test and you say, nope, that's not good enough, I'm going to take it again, you study, you take it again, and you make an 85, the 85 is the one that's going to figure in your average. You don't have to take it twice, but that's a great option. And then this red part is really important. Before each test is available, all homework assignments must be completed with at least a 70, meaning you have to pass the homework before the test will open. So if there's 4 sections, you got to have at least a 70 on each of those before the test will even open for you to take. So keep that in mind. And then the final exam, which the category in Pearson, I've called it quiz. There's only one quiz, that's the final exam. You get to take that one time and it counts 20% of your average. So I have talked about this attendance and that I check it, and you have 2 weeks and you could be dropped after the third. So that's what that says. So I think that's the main parts of the syllabus. You should read through all of it, but that's the main things. Let's go to the next item. All right, so important resources, you could go through those just in time. Contact info, that's the same that was in the syllabus. The calendar, let's look at the calendar. All right, so in here, what you'll note is there's 2 dates, July 13th and August 12th. So everything is available July 13th, first day of the course. It is all due August 12th. The only thing that is not available at the beginning is the final exam, so you can't start that till August 2nd. But you can work at your own pace. If you get busy and you can get a lot done in a couple of weeks, that's great. I'm still going to take attendance unless you finish all, when you've finished all the homework and you write me and you say, all I have left is the final, then you won't be on the attendance list for not attending. So keep that in mind. But this gives you an idea of how it's broken down. The only one that has more than 4 is chapter 5. So that one may take you a little bit longer. So that's our calendar. There are handouts. So let's look at handouts. There's quite a few in here. Identities and formulas. I would print that and have that at hand when you're working on your homework or your test. It's lots of things that will be very, very helpful. Unit circle. There's some trig graph paper if we're having to graph. Phone apps. If you have trouble with any algebra things that come up, there's that. So all of this could be really helpful references. All right. Let's go on down here. All right, so this is the meat of the course. If I click on that button, it is divided into problem sets, lecture notes, and lecture videos. And there's one of those items for every section that's covered in the course. So let's kind of go through them. Let's go to chapter 1 and go here. All right, so these are practice problems. If you were in the course face to face, we would have this in front of us and we would work on these in class, which prepares you for the homework. So this problem set has 12 questions in it, and it's about angles. So that's the start. You print that, you look at that, you go through that, but maybe you don't know what you're doing there. If you haven't had much of trig, even in geometry in high school, you should have had some of this, but if you haven't had that, then we need to go back and look at the lecture note. So we're back here. We're going to go to lecture notes. We're going to go to chapter 1 and we'll go to 1.1. And if you were in class, these are the things that we would talk about and give you definitions and how-tos. And then we would eventually, and this is a good little chart that has the angles that are often named after Greek letters. Usually it's theta, but it could be any of these. And then how to do angle measure on the calculator is there if you want to use that. And then these are those problem sets worked out. These I'm doing by hand. Some of them you could do on the calculator for sure. That's up to you. And then, so all of that is on there. It may still need a little bit of direction. So let's look at one more thing. So we're back here and we've got lecture videos. So I have a YouTube channel for every course I teach. So this is from my Trig YouTube channel. So if we go to chapter 1, and there should be 4 videos there, one for each section. So if you played this, then it's going to be me talking about and working through those items. So you have a set of problems, you have lecture notes with general information about the section plus the worked problem set, and then you have a video of me talking through it. So those are your references for the work. So the only other thing there is a final exam review, and you could go through that as it gets closer. But let's talk about now, say you've done chapter 1, you've looked at all that, and you're ready to do the homework. And again, you may be ready to do the homework without any of those references. I have no idea where you are in that journey, but everything is there for you if you need it. And now let's see what you can do. So let's hit Open Pearson. And you want to go in up here. You won't have these. You shouldn't see these on your end. This is because I'm in my part. You should have this down here, but just click on this gold bar. And again, you won't see these things, but you would have assignments and student grade book and the e-text, that sort of thing. So let's go to assignments. All right, if you'll note, these are all blue clickable links for the homework and for the tests. Shows the due date is August 12th, 6 p.m. That's every deadline. August 12th, 6 p.m. And we're not going to be extending that, so keep that in mind. It has a time limit for everything. Most of them are 2 hours. Chapter 4 is a little bit longer. That's 150 minutes. So, and you get down and the final is not showing because it's not available yet. But all of these have 2 tries. That's what that shows you. And let's look at the homework so you get an idea of that. All right, so this is our homework for 1.1, 12 questions. Let's get started. And that's what that looks like. And you have everything over at the side, and you have part 1 of 2. Find the complement and supplement of the given angle. Okay, so here's part 1. If you click in here, it's going to give you some things you might need. There's Greek letters. This is common things you might need, templates, symbols. So that's where you can get your icons. But let's see. Let's just put, I'm going to put 60. All right, check my answer. That's incorrect. And it reminds you 2 positive angles are complements if the sum of that is that. So 1 part remaining. So I'm going to clear all that. I'm going to try it again. And I'm going to say 43 and check my answer. Well done. Okay, then we get part 2. Now I'm going to miss this one on purpose. So now it wants the supplement, but I'm going to click there. I'm going to put 60. I'm going to check. That's going to remind me. Okay, so I'm going to put that same thing in. Let's see, let's keep doing it. Check answer. Nope, try again. And I'm going to go one more time with 60. If I can just make that work. All right. It's not. Okay. All right, check answer. All right, now that part is incorrect. So I could either go forward or I can say, see a similar question. If I say similar, it's going to regenerate the question and I can go ahead and get it right. But you could wait, you could do that later. Now, the other thing that I want to show you here, if you're working a problem and you just can't get it, you don't understand, you've followed everything you thought it was right. So if you click Get More Help, then Ask My Instructor, this is going to send me the exact question you're looking at. And you can type in here, this is what I've tried. I don't see the problem. I don't see, whatever it is. But that way I see your exact problem. So when you're asking for my help on homework, I would like you to send me and ask my instructor. Unless it's just some random thing you want to talk about the problem, this thing's not showing up or something like that. But if it's about the working of the problem, please go through Ask My Instructor and then send it to me, and then I'll be able to get back with you. So you can also do View an Example. I will have had examples in my lecture notes for you, but you're welcome to do that as well. All right, so let's see what we've forgotten. And I don't think I've forgotten anything that I meant to tell you. So keep a lookout for announcements. Get started on your work. Be sure you're working each week. And I look forward to working with you in the next 5 to 6 weeks.